beautiful people, and welcome to another live session in nature. These ones are some of my favorites. Please let me know if you can hear me because these thingies are going through some challenges, so let me know if you can hear me okay. Just taking a deep breath. The view around me is so almost unbelievably gorgeous. All the plants and flowers and the trees and the ocean and the sky and the sun and the clouds, and it's so beautiful around. And I want to invite you today to take a breath with me because this one can be a little bit triggering. Today I want to talk with you about authenticity and visibility and our capacity to hold judgment. The more authentic we are, the more we will be loved by some and judged by others. And the more visible we are in our lives and in social media, the more we are then targets for more love, but also more judgment to come in. And I see a lot of people from the spiritual community and the conscious community that hold back so much on sharing their opinions and sharing their truth and sharing their raw, authentic selves because they are so incapable of receiving judgment. And I want to go even deeper into this and say boldly that when we protect ourselves from hate and judgment, we are also protecting ourselves from love. Now just feel into that for a moment. The more we protect ourselves from hate and judgment, the more we are also protecting ourselves from love and admiration. Just taking a deep breath with that. When we protect ourselves, we are literally putting a layer around us. And it does protect us. But it also closes us to receive. It closes us. It's like having like a cape, like a coat like this. It protects us from receiving judgment and hate and like bad energies, but it also closes us up for love and judgment. It's all of it. It's the good and the bad. It's literally a protection layer, and therefore it protects us, meaning it closes us off from the bad but also the good. And to stand in our power, in our greatness, to be fully authentic, and to show up in our lives and in social media for our business, for our mission, for our loved ones, for our relationships, for ourselves. We need to be more capable of holding judgment, meaning we need to be more open, we need to be more vulnerable, we need to be more powerful. All these things are the same thing. Welcome everyone who's joining. So nice to have you here. Bless you. Hi. I'm talking today about authenticity and judgment. And I'm sharing that sometimes we don't show up or don't show ourselves fully to the people we love or on social media or whatever because we are afraid of being judged and hate. But once we are closed off and not being fully authentically us, we are also closing ourselves off from all the people who will vibe with us, who will get us, who will love us and celebrate us for exactly who we are. I shared a video, actually one yesterday and one today, about judgment. And I was sharing and saying that one way or another you will be judged. Whatever you do, you will be judged. Whether you are a vegan or a carnivore, people will judge you, and they will have their own opinions and their own judgments. Whether you are spiritual or not spiritual, people will judge you. Whether you make this choice or the other choice, people will judge you. People will judge no matter what. They will have their perceptions and their opinions. But how much can we be in our own integrity and in our own power and in our own truth to stand being vulnerable and authentic as we are, even knowing that other people will judge us? That takes courage. And that takes a lot of capacity in our nervous system. If you have been tuning in to my message lately, I've been sharing a lot about nervous system and embodiment and being in the body. When we protect ourselves from hate too much, we also protect ourselves from love. When we protect ourselves from life, we literally are protecting ourselves from life. Meaning we are also blocking ourselves from experiencing life to a higher capacity. Once we close ourselves off, we're just closing ourselves off. It's not like we're closing ourselves to one thing, but then staying open to another. No, we're just more closed. And to be authentic is to be brave. And to be brave is to hold a higher capacity, to be judged, to be loved, to be hated. To all of it at the same time. So let me share a story, because to be embodied in the message that I share, I need to also be vulnerable and authentic enough to share my processes. So here it goes. Here comes the juice. I was vegan for almost 10 years. Almost 10 years, you guys. And a few years ago, I started noticing that my body would look at meat and I would start to salivate. And I would be like, oh, that looks so yummy. Because before that wouldn't happen. I would be like, oh, that's a dead animal. That's so disgusting. Like, oh my God, I could never do that to a little cow or to a little animal. That's so cruel and all of that. I was one of those strong, annoying vegans that would tell anyone and everyone how horrible it would be to eat animal flesh and like to treat animals like that and all of that. And then I started realizing that my body was craving it. And for 2 years, 2 whole years, or maybe 3, almost 3 years, I was like, what is this that I'm feeling? Why is my body salivating when I see other people eating meat? What's going on? And I listened to it, and I listened to it, and I witnessed it, and I witnessed it, but I did not take action because I was a vegan, and everyone knew me as a vegan. And it was one of my core beliefs and one of my core things that made me me. Everyone knew that I was a vegan, right? It's the dragon in you. That's so funny. Who knows, maybe. And you guys, it was like 2 years that I was looking at meat and salivating without doing anything about it. And then I went through some health issues, and that brought me to like do some blood tests. And in the blood tests that I did, the blood tests were showing me that I was really anemic. I think that's how you say that word, anemic. Like that's anemic, right? That's how you say it. So and it was really bad anemia, like really, really bad. Like all the other levels were good, like even vitamin D and like vitamin B, like everything was great, but I was so anemic, it was scary. And I was having some concerns with my memory and concentration and grounding and stuff like that, you know. And I feel a lot of people in the spiritual community go through this, but we don't talk about it enough. And what happens is we either have these because I was there, so I'm not judging, like these very strong-minded vegans who are like, I would never eat an animal, like that's so cruel and our bodies don't need it and it's unhealthy and all of that. And at the same time, we have this whole side of the spiritual community that is like, I was vegan and I started developing all these mental issues and all these health issues, and now I'm eating meat and I feel so much better. Here's what I eat. And then it's like so much judgment between one side of the community and the other. Again, forgetting that we are one community. One community. And I feel, and because I was in the vegan side, I get it, you know. But honestly, I finally, after doing the blood tests and like really meditating with myself and being with myself and feeling my body and seeing where it was coming from and all of that, I ate meat for the first time in almost 10 years. And you guys, I freaking cried. I cried so much. I cried so much. And in the first time that I ate meat, I had this thought, this realization with myself that was like, why did I do that to myself for so many years? And I know why. Because I went vegan for the animals. I went vegan because I didn't want to kill an animal to sustain myself, or to make it go through pain or torture or worse for me to feed myself. And the time that I ate meat for the first time, it was like, now I'm doing this for me. I went vegan for the animals, and I stopped being a vegan for me. My body was craving it, my body was asking for it, my body was crying for it. The grounding, the humanness, and like the acceptance of the pain and the torture and all those horrible things, but in a way with reverence, with gratitude, with humanness. And my health and my vitality, my concentration, my focus, my memory, my strength, like I started feeling so much better, like it's and so much more grounded and really human and grateful for life exactly as it is, with all its nuances and all its polarities and duality and all the good and all the bad and all the beautiful and all the ugly. I went vegan for the animals, and I stopped being vegan for my body. And for a while I've been like super like hesitant to share about this on social media, because I didn't want to be judged, and I didn't want to be disliked, and I didn't want people to like it's like this spiritual pedestal, this pseudo spiritual pedestal, and I didn't want people to see me as like a failure, or like I was like not spiritual or not connected or not pure enough if I ate meat. That's kind of like the story running through my consciousness, and it hurts a lot to feel that. And so I'm here sharing this with you because when I was vegan, a lot of people would judge me, and they would tell me, even like very spiritual, very, very spiritual connected people would tell me, Madalena, you really need to eat meat, like you're too skinny, like you're too ungrounded, like you need to eat meat, you will feel so much better. And at the same time, like I had all these vegan friends and people who went vegan when they met me and I was vegan, like, you know, like it was a lot of pressure on my shoulders that I was putting on myself. I was putting that pressure on myself, no one else. And so realizing more and more that whether I'm vegan or whether I'm not vegan, people will judge me and they will have their own opinions, and that's okay and that's beautiful, and That's just what it means to be human. People have opinions on what other people do with their lives. That's just being human. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just life, you know? I have my own opinions as well, and I want to start coming out of hiding a little and a lot more this year to share my personal individual opinions on so many things. Because if you have been following me for a few years, you know that I started my sharing on social media because I used to have another Instagram account that got hacked, but you can find my oldest videos on YouTube. What I'm sharing is about non-duality and paradox and duality. And I was sharing about all this controversy in duality and non-duality and like polarity and like union and like paradox. That was like my area of speciality was paradox in the human existence. Dealing with paradox, with everything. There is like a spectrum of emotions, a spectrum of thoughts, a spectrum of polarity, and navigating that. And in these last few years, I've literally been on a journey of like in the body, embodying that paradox, embodying and embracing that paradox, moving through that paradox like viscerally in my body, and being okay with being judged, because that means at least I stand for something. I know that I don't need anyone and everyone to agree with me. I just need to find out what resonates for me. And it's also okay if what resonates for me changes from time to time. That's also okay. And that's what I want to inspire you with. To be in your authenticity. To be vulnerable and strong, again with the paradox, vulnerable and strong enough to deal with the judgment that comes with that. To deal with people like cheering you on and loving you and agreeing with you, and other people who just don't get it and don't agree and judge you. One way or another, we will be judged. And it's okay. It's okay. That's just part of the human experience. And now for I will go deeper into this in the activation membership, which is the membership that I created for us to connect more deeply, and in one of the courses I'm creating about embodied spiritual business. But just to let a little hint of that here, in having like a spiritual business, an embodied spiritual business, whether it is like space holding like in person or an online business, being authentic and visible is the key for us to be found by others who will resonate with us. And if we are afraid to show up on social media or in person to the events that we are hosting and facilitating, or whatever it is that we do, if we are afraid to show our true selves, we are blocking our money, our abundance, we are blocking opportunities, we are literally blocking freedom and pleasure in our body. We are blocking so much. And I will just leave that as a little hint here. And if you want to go deeper into this subject with me, you can check the activation membership, send me a DM with the word activation, and I will send you the links to join. Or if you want to do private coaching with me and mentorship with me, or join my embodied spiritual business, then send me a message, because these are the codes that I'm sharing, but I'm going so much deeper into that there. And yeah, like the other little hints that I want to share to kind of wrap this up today is that I started creating something last year that was really extremely triggering for me and for everyone who might watch it. To the point where I kind of created it, but then I did not launch it. I did not launch it because I was like, I am so naturally gifted and haunted with the ability to understand and hold space for everyone's perspectives. I'm able, like naturally able, to hold duality and polarity and like different perspectives from others so naturally. But I know not everyone is like that, and I know people will judge me for creating this. So I did not launch it. And lately, I've been feeling that it might be time. So if you're curious about what that is, comment down below with I'm trying to like find a word for you to comment. Just comment below with, I want to know what you talked about in the live, and I will share about that. Hi Nicole. Spark, yeah, that can be it. Thank you, dear, for that word. So if you're curious about what it is that I'm talking about, that I created last year, that I've never shared with anyone, because even though I am so naturally prone to observe and hold space for all the perspectives that everyone has, it's like I can see it from a, not higher, but like I can see all the perspectives, and I can see why people have them. Like I it's just, and it's not something that I try to do, it's just natural for me. I'm having one of those things when you have this noise, this pitch in your ear, you know, that just happened. So okay, but yeah, like, and I created this thing that I know will bring so much judgment and so much like people having different opinions on it and people judging me for it. Some people will get me and they will feel me, but I know other people will not get it, and other people will judge, and other people will have a different opinion, which is okay. But I was so afraid to like be so vulnerable and so strong and authentic in that way, and most of all to be so human, you know, so human, that I didn't share about it. So if you are curious about what that is, like what did Madalena create that was so like trigger warning, yeah, okay, so either spark or trigger warning. Trigger warning is a perfect word for this. If you want to know what I'm talking about, just comment trigger warning, and I will get more courageous to share it and launch it and see what I want to do with that. I know that it's gonna ruffle a lot of fighters, and honestly, especially my own. That's why I'm like, oh. But yeah, I'm ready for more. I'm ready to expand my capacity to be seen, which also means my capacity to be judged. And I know people don't judge like in a... It's not our fault that we judge. It's natural. It's just what it means to be human. It's okay. But also to be a leader means that we need to be okay with people judging, with people not getting. We need to be okay with that. We need to be energetically, emotionally capable of dealing with that. And this is me expanding my capacity by sharing you my story from being a vegan, from the animals, to like spending 2 years where my body was like salivating every time I would see meat and people eating meat. Because before I was like, oh, that's a dead corpse, like so gross, it smells so bad, I cannot even smell it, like that's a little dead cow, that's so horrible. And all of a sudden my body was like craving it and like salivating and all these things. And some people would tell me that, no, Maddie, what are you saying? Like, those are your values. Like, no, we don't eat animals. And other people were telling me, Madeleine, you really need to eat meat. You will feel so much better. Like, you have no idea how much better I felt when I stopped being vegan, blah, blah, blah. Me coming out of hiding and sharing this with you is me expanding my capacity to be loved or hated in my authenticity. I'm not saying that it was right to be vegan and wrong to eat meat or the other way around. I'm just saying that this has been my experience. And it's okay to be judged. It's human. And it's also okay to allow ourselves to be judged. That's also human. And more, I am less about transcending the human experience, because that was me. And I've shared this yesterday, on the live yesterday. I was deeply for many years studying true, real, ancient Tantra and non-dualism and non-duality and transcendence and meditation. And right now, honestly, I'm kind of grateful for that, but at the same time, I'm like, what the actual fuck? Seriously. Like, I see that, and again, I can see that perspective. I was there, I know it, I see that. But at the same time, it's like, it got me also very ungrounded and disassociated and disconnected from my human life, from my relationships, from my family, from my friends, from the most basic human things. And now I want to be human. And that's okay if that means to be more vulnerable to judgment. That's okay. I'm expanding my capacity to hold that. So I have this thing that I created last year that is really gonna ruffle all of our fighters in a way where I've never created anything like that before. You will see a whole other side of me. A very human, like very human, like a really not spiritual side of me. A very human, basic, real side of me. So if you're curious about that, then comment in this video with trigger warning, and I will see if like I get the courage to launch that and to share that with the world. And that's kind of what I wanted to share with you today. Also, as I was saying before, like, if you want to join me, like, to be closer to me and what I'm doing and what I'm creating, I created the activation membership for us to gather in community, where we share together every week and every month, and where I have, like, literally, honestly, all the resources that got me from being completely lost in life, just honestly, to now, like, building, like, an embodied spiritual business, and to being in, like, before building any business, is like being embodied in my body, feeling good with who I am and with my life, and then being able to then serve others from that, and being able to, like, create from scratch my whole spiritual business that is embodied, because I am grounded in the body. And all the resources that got me from being stuck and lost and afraid and disassociated and ungrounded and, like, not sure where to start, or like overwhelmed and all of that, to now being here creating with so much energy and inspiration and taking so much action every single day. I gathered all those resources inside the activation membership. So if you want to not only go through that journey yourself, but join us as we go through it as a community, then send me the word activation by DM, or comment in this video with the word activation so I can send you the details. It's really cheap. It's like, it's truly like an offering. Like, it's me opening the doors for you to enter, like, my world and our world and the community that we have built together. Because I know how challenging it can be to go through all these challenges ourselves, and how much easier and important, like so important, to have a community of people who are going through either similar challenges, or at least that they have similar goals or intentions to upgrade their life and, like, make this year the best year of your life. It's really cheap, and my intention with it being so cheap is that more of you can just have a taste of this energy and of this community and this support. so that you can start making positive changes in your life where you actually feel really good, that things are actually changing, that you're actually feeling more and more amazing and more you, and like that opportunities are coming and things are shifting and things are happening in your life. So yeah, like join us in the activation membership. Also, it's a living library, meaning that I'm always adding new practices, new videos there, and you can request for me to make a video on a certain subject, or like you can ask me to make a guided meditation about this, or make a somatic practice about this, or do a light language activation about this topic. So you can request whatever videos or whatever practices and meditations that you want me to create, and I'm really happy to create that for you. And if you're curious about the other thing that I was talking about, comment trigger warning, and I will unravel and unpackage that and see when and how I want to share that with you. So my loves, thank you so much for being here with me today. I'm really loving going live with you every single day. I'm telling you, like, if I don't go live for one day, it feels so weird. It's like too much energy and too much that I want to share that just gets like stuck there because I'm not going live. So you can expect me to go live almost every single day now. And even this live, I feel like I touched on this subject just a little, but I have so much more to share about this. And also how this concept of authenticity and visibility and leadership is connected to our missions and our purposes and our dharma and our businesses. So yeah, I will have a lot more to share tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go again into this more deeply, or if I'm gonna have another subject to touch upon. But one way or another, my loves, thank you for being here, and I will see you tomorrow. If you're curious about what is this weird thing that I created that I know will ruffle some feathers, comment with trigger warning. And if you want to join us in the activation membership, comment with activation, and I will send you all the details. Sending you so much love from nature. Let me show you around. It's so beautiful here. Sending you so much love and blessings, and I will see you tomorrow. Bless you, bless you, bless you.